Hey, what's up guys? This is Jeff with Gamestork, and it looks like the E3 floor plans are up.
Gamestork, delivering news, reviews, and playthroughs like a newborn baby.
So it looks like the floor plans for E3 have been finalized, moving within about a 2-week window here of E3, and it's really exciting. Looking forward to think about all the great things that we're going to see during this weekend. New console in the Scorpio from Microsoft. PlayStation's promised to come just like they did last year with a theatrical experience filled with titles, and then Nintendo has so many surprises that are just, oh man, it's just so fun to just speculate and think about everything that they're going to bring. And this, just to be, to say preemptively, there's a 2-horse race here at E3, and you can tell by the booths that are available, and we'll look at that in just a moment. But we're going to start looking right here, as you can see behind me, or in front of you. How about that? That's better because you can't see me at all. The South Hall. Now in the South Hall you can see some awesome companies here like Bethesda, Warner Brothers Interactive, Ubisoft, Capcom, Square Enix, Take-Two, Interactive Software, Activision, and there, right there in booth 1601 is Microsoft. Now what does this say? Well, we don't know that it says a whole lot, because Microsoft's initial their actual event will be held elsewhere, so they may not need the floor space here. This might just be supplemental, although I don't know a lot about where, what's going on with their event. I know it's not necessarily going to be held right here at E3. It's going to be prior elsewhere, so this might just be that they don't need as much floor space. But it is interesting to think about, considering the fact that Microsoft is leaning on the Scorpio for this E3. I mean, they're essentially at a place in their company, in their company's life, where it's either, you go to this new system, you sell this thing, and you convince people and have some first parties there available and show that your machine is viable and that it's going to stay, sound on the market, or else you're in big trouble. Microsoft, to me, I will just start out saying, has the most to prove here at E3. They're the ones who are on the ropes. And, even though the Scorpio is coming out, there's a lot of speculation and questions that need to be answered. And for those people who have bought an Xbox One or an Xbox One S, how is this going to affect them? Is this really a new generation console? Are games going to be made for both at one time? How are developers going to create experiences that are unique to the Scorpio without alienating the rest of the install base? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And this is a big deal for Microsoft, and they could wind up at the end of this competing against themselves. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm excited about the idea of the Scorpio. Don't get me wrong, I have a 4K TV in my living room, so anything like that would be great. But what does scare me is the lack of games, lack of first-party titles. And, as we see with the PlayStation VR right now, I got sold on the VR, I got really excited, I bought it, it was just a lot of fun. Come to find out that there were like 3 types of games for it. They were all exactly the same, and it just hasn't warranted my purchase yet. Like, it hasn't earned my money, I guess you'd say. That or the titles that I bought for it. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't be corrected, but what I'm saying is Microsoft needs to come out with a console here and make a strong showing that the software will be there. Now, we know that Sony has the advantage on a lot of the big third-party, the AAA developers, because of the install base. Microsoft just can't keep up. They don't have the install base. And even on this new console, the Scorpio, there's still not going to be an install base there that's large enough to compete with Sony at this time. So we see that Microsoft is, they have a relatively small booth. We'll go over the exact numbers once we look at everything. But compared to the other two, it's very small. So hopefully that just means that their stuff's going on otherwise, in another place. I see a lot in the comments that people argue a lot about, the Sony fanboys and Nintendo drones. I've seen that one. But the reality is as gamers, we should be rooting for every company to succeed. Every company you see on these maps, whether it be game developers or overall console developers, you should be rooting for them to be successful if they make good games. So if you want Microsoft to succeed, if you really like them, be sure to vote with your wallet, right, to keep their company open. That's the best way that you could do that. And I do like Microsoft. I do like the Xbox, but I wish they would have better first-party games at this point. The original reason I bought an Xbox was for Gears of War, and the last one, it was okay, But I wish that they would, you know, really come out with some good, strong first parties and surprise us all with Scalebound. As a matter of fact, just make this entire booth Scalebound, and I think I'll be really excited. 1601, Scalebound, baby. So if we move down to the West Hall, this is where the action is. This is where the fun stuff is, right here. And this is really, really interesting this year. I mean, I almost feel like it's the 90s. Let's just be honest. If you look at 4322 there, you see Sony. They also have 4122, which is to the left. So they have a big area, two specific little big and smaller booths right beside each other. Then right across from them, you have the competing Nintendo of America and 4822. Nintendo has an extended booth there in 5244. And look who's right there in the middle, the Nvidia Corporation, right there, in you know, cusp in the arms of Nintendo. So you can see their partnership is strong, even in the placement of their booths. I'm sure they did this on purpose. Now, what that means, I don't know. I think it'll be really cool if, now, I'm not saying this will happen, so nobody please say this. Don't take this as this will happen. But one day, based off of Nintendo's history of reiterations, they've always done reiterations like really every console has. Really, all consoles have done reiteration. From the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, you know, PlayStation 2 Slim, PlayStation 3 Slim, all that stuff. They've all done that. And Nintendo did this with the 3DS, the Nintendo 3DS XL, the new Nintendo 3DS, now the new Nintendo 2DS, so on and so forth. And they've added more power. So what would be cool to me, I doubt this, I very seriously doubt this, at least until next year, but it would be neat for Nvidia to come out and say, you know, in the future we're working on this new chip called, you know, it's not going to be called the X2 at the time. Well, it could be, you never know, but as of right now we're calling it the X2, and eventually this thing's going to be in the Switch. It's going to be more power, better battery, this is a guarantee. Our partnership is strong. We have a bright future. This isn't a contract. We're going to upgrade the Nintendo Switch to the Nintendo Switch Plus or the Nintendo Switch Deluxe or whatever, however you want to say that, but soon there will be more power in this thing. And that would be a really neat announcement for E3. I doubt that's going to happen. So at this point, I'm just talking about something that would be great. So please don't think I'm saying that's going to happen. But it, you know, it's based off the history of consoles and how reiterations work. Like the PlayStation 4 has a reiteration called the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's not a new generation. It's a reiteration of the same generation with more power. But anyway, big areas mean lots of stuff. And that's the point here. If you have big areas at E3 like this, that means you're going to fill them with things. You're going to fill them with first-party titles. You're going to fill them with partners. You're going to fill them with games. And you're going to fill them with all kinds of stuff. And that's what's exciting here. The fact that these little squares right now that just have numbers on them will be filled with the most magical things that get gamers like me and you excited and just, you know, feeling as if we're just born again and in the gaming world. Every year there's something at E3 that just gets me excited, gets me ready for more, and it makes me just proud to be a gamer and proud to be a lifelong gamer, and I'm really excited about this. I hate that I won't be one of the people on the show floor this year to look around and get in these big booths, but as you can see, this is a two-horse race. Sony is slightly bigger than Nintendo, and right below them, you know, you have Atlas and Sega. So Sega's going to be right there, you know, in the midst of Sony and Nintendo, which makes sense, since they do have Sonic coming out for both those and stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, you have Turtle Beach, you have, you know, IGN and all them right inside the entrance there. But as far as like floor space and all, it's just, this is what it is. So let's look at some specific numbers here. And the person on NeoGAF, thank you so much for laying this out. They went ahead and did the numbers. I'm just going to tell you the totals instead of each individual booth, just to give you an idea of who has the most. So Microsoft's total number, like their total square footage, is 17,412 square feet. That is not a lot, and last year was way more than that. So considering they're selling this new console to everyone, you would think they would have more, they would go all in, but maybe they have some other plan. Hopefully they know what they're doing and they'll do very well at it, and they'll, you know, succeed at the Scorpio, and their company will thrive, because that's, you know, that's a win for me. Now in the West Hall, Nintendo has 32,400 plus square foot. They have another space, but the dimensions for that extra space aren't there yet. So right now it's 32,400 plus. And then Sony has 43,000 2,500 square foot total, and they have 3 different booths, but the dimensions are not final. So that is also a plus and not a definite number. So you can see that Sony does clearly have the most square footage. They will have the most floor space. However, this race is definitely, Microsoft is way behind, and this is 100% going to be Nintendo versus Sony. Anyway, guys, that's a little bit of my speculation here. I'm really excited about E3, and as we count down the days, I just can't wait to watch this, to break this stuff down, and to really just dig into what's offered. I know that Nintendo has big plans for the Nintendo Switch. If you guys didn't see that interview, Reggie Fils-Aimé said that, you know, they have really big E3 plans, and they typically don't say things that, you know, that serious about it. So I'm sure that they have some really big surprises, and I cannot wait to see. Same thing with Sony. I love Sony's show last year. I think it was very near perfect. It was all about the games, the orchestra playing there, playing all the audios. It was really, really cool and powerful. So I'm happy, and I'm really excited to watch Sony do that again, and I wish the best for Microsoft as well. Anyway, that does it for this news. I guess you would call this a news update, the breakdown of these E3 floor plans. I'll say, guys, thanks so much for watching. I certainly appreciate you. And as we count down to E3, there are going to be a lot of cool videos and leaks and things like that we get to look at. So it really makes me excited here to be able to share those on the channel. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you enjoy what you're watching. And I appreciate you guys. We will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you would like to help to improve the quality of content on this channel and also help to make content come out faster, please go to this link at gofundme.com/Gamestork to help me replace the equipment needed in order to make this channel better. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and if nothing else, just be sure to watch, like, and subscribe. Thanks again. Bye.